I'm Chris Erdmann, and this is Made of More, the show where we go beyond business to uncover real stories that shape entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers. Every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, we explore the pivotal moments, the adversity faced, the risks taken, and the resilience found along the way. This isn't just about what people have built, it's about who they've become. If you're ready for inspiration, practical insights, and stories that remind you that you too are made of more, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show, Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and today I'm interviewing a good friend of mine, Dawni Rae. Dawni Rae Wellness is her business. And let me tell you, she's so much more than a fitness coach. She helps people transform their life and reclaim their life back in many different ways, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. She's a guide, a mentor, and a friend of mine. And she's going to share today some of her life's journeys and from early life and how she's helped people overcome real struggles and maybe some of her own. And we're going to dive in through her childhood and different ways that she helps people feel unstuck and elevated. And she does this with a certain sense of energy, this energy that is unique to her, that she really helps people feel alive. And you're going to get a sense of this when she starts speaking. But Dawni Rae, welcome to the show, Made of More.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for
Made of More.
Yeah, Made of More. You are Made of More.
I love that. And today I thought, oh my gosh, the acronym is MOM.
It is MOM. Yeah. Moms are made of more. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Well, you drove here in this wet weather and we're here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How's this week been for you?
This week has been great. You know, it's productive and I taught a lot of movement classes and worked with a lot of people. So my heart feels full.
Yeah, you're busy. Every time I call you, you're just getting out of something, and it's like you sound really energized, even though you just got done doing a class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like you work out in every class you teach.
Well, that's a good thing to talk about because after all these years, and I've been now about 3 decades into actually this being my work, I have learned to coach a room where I can move the room and I don't do a lot. It depends on my population and the modality of what I'm teaching or where I'm teaching, whether it's virtual or in person. But I can hold back. I've learned how to hold back and just move the room with my energy and my voices and my cues.
Yeah.
To preserve my energy. And so I'm moving, but sometimes I'm not working out as much as you would be in the room because I'm looking and coaching and adjusting and watching and, giving people, feedback on how their posture is or, their technique of what they're doing. But I've learned how to, and I think a lot of people that do what I do, you are doing it every day. I mean, literally, I'm doing this, but not on Sundays unless I do something active on my own, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I just learned how to preserve the energy, and I also really am intentional about sleep.
Oh yeah, something I need to be more intentional about.
Or even if that means it's a nap, where you let your body recover and rest and pull into that pit stop, and it's huge.
It is huge. Some people say, I guess my Andrew says his training begins with sleep.
Absolutely. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. That's you agree. I need to agree. Well, tell me first, take us back to your earlier days of where you found fitness and this entrepreneurial journey. Do you want to take us back to that day?
Yeah. So really for me, I'm going to start with this, and that's that I just couldn't sit still as a kid. And I remember getting reprimanded about that a lot, about, being sit still, and now I tell my mom now I get paid for not sitting still, and it's become my career. But I've always been really physical in my body, and I'm kind of on that hyper edge. When I was in 5th grade, my mom got me into a track meet. And it was so funny because I did the hurdles and I think it was like 100-yard dash or something the hurdles and the long jump. And I was watching these runners, and bottom line is that I just, all of a sudden when I want to run, and I started just put on I remember my Adidas tennis shoes, and I would put them on and I would just go run. And then I got involved in signing up for road races. And I did my first one was Sound and Arrows in Tacoma.
Okay.
And I won.
You won?
In my category, in my age category, yeah. And then it just hit me. And for me, it was, I think, absolutely, I know that in the background of my life, what was going on from birth until that time, 5th grade, it became my vice. It became my go-to, my escape. And I learned that in positive ways and in also ways I've learned and healed that I kept a hard push on my body. There was the outlet of that for me, definitely mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I was also really recreating this kind of disciplined, hard being in my body. And I can see now today and where I've come in my healing that we continue to recreate some of the hardness that has been put on us or that we've learned in our story.
How do you mean recreate?
Just like it's saying some of the abuse that was going on in my life that we can talk more about. I learned how to keep that abuse going. And so there was this dual relationship between there's my outlet and also I'm just going to push myself. I'm just going to be hard.
Yeah.
And it became I had to run every day. Anywhere I went in the world, like I had to run every day. And eventually
the workout had to be as intense as what you're experiencing in another area of life.
Right. Until I learned the balance.
Yeah.
And so much to say about that, but that's kind of, if you can see that picture, that's what it was serving me. That was my escape, and it wasn't healthy.
It does sound balanced, though, actually. Like, it's hard over here, and it's going to be hard over here. What does the new balance mean to you?
The new balance is that I'm not doing it to abuse myself. I have so much grace. I don't have to run every day. I don't have to work out every day. Like, there's times when I'm doing something in the world, I'm traveling per se, and I'm not going crazy and being compulsive about, no matter what, I got to stop the world and go work out. Like that, those days are gone.
Yeah.
And I've incorporated, this is my life. This is what I do in my livelihood. And so I'm fulfilled, and I just don't have that panic or anxiety doesn't live in me anymore. Almost felt like another person inside of me was just like, and so in so many ways that has gone away.
Yeah.
And the feeling of being more grounded and really committed to self-compassion.
What was the transition from this, punishing yourself through exercise? How did you recognize that you needed to change? Really?
So here's what I'm going to tell you is that where that was coming from was some abuse and neglect that was going on in my life from some of the people in my life that should have been keeping me safe.
Right.
And so that's where I found that escape, right? Yeah. And then what started to happen before I got down my path and journey of healing, truly healing, that was going to come in the years to come.
Sure.
Okay. So if I was to jump forward on that, okay. The next thing that was that way of abusing myself came through relationships with men, choosing, more abusive type experiences. When I was 12, so that was before 5th grade, okay? So when I was 12, there was a really awful experience of sexual abuse that started in my life.
Oh, wow.
And that was a secret for a really long time. And so then that led me to having an eating disorder. And so again, I'm recreating, I learned how to abuse myself. And so that eating disorder was just another way for me to keep doing that because there was so much shame. There was just, I felt like damaged goods and it was a secret. And if you know the nature of that and being groomed in all the ways you don't say or tell anybody, it was a very significant person in my life and my family's life.
Yeah.
And So I got an eating disorder called bulimia, and that went on for a decade. It came in my life right about when I graduated from high school. And I'm this health-oriented athlete, cheerleader. I mean, I loved school.
Yeah.
Junior high, high school, so much fun, so outgoing. But I had this secret in the background that was awful, which was the sexual abuse that went on all these years.
Yeah.
And so that, I'm just going to speed the story up because the bulimia led me to having diabetes, insulin dependent. It put so much trauma on my body.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And then in the midst of that, Chris, I would do all kinds of challenging things. You know, like I would ship myself off to Alaska to go work on the boats, you know, because I just thought if I could outrun this monster, this awful story of this bulimia, which, by the way, I didn't even know what that behavior was or had a name until
Wasn't really talked about that.
No, and I was on a boat. I was on Alaska Star, and on in the galley table there was a magazine, and it was this pictures of all this food and this girl, and it said bulimia, and then I'm like, holy, that's what I do. That's what's happening. So then all of a sudden I saw that there's a name for what's going on, which just gave me more shame and more guilt. And that
pressure.
Yeah. And it led me to becoming diabetic. And those two things don't go well together. That's like, you know, you're waiting for something really awful to happen, those two behaviors. And in the meantime, as all this is going on, I'm pursuing therapy. I'm on that path.
Well, good for you to recognize that you need therapy or it benefits you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I've always been engaged in it. And there came a time when I learned this is key because every time I've made a pivotal change in my life, it's because I've hit that point of I feel disgusted with this behavior. Like this has to change.
Yeah.
And I was in that place, and it was about in my early 30s. And I've been pursuing so much help. And I found a group called Eating Disorders Anonymous. Yeah. And it was my people. And I would go there and I would just cry around those tables and I would want the behavior to stop. And then one day I decided if you eat it, you keep it and you push through. And I started to turn towards the behaviors and ask those behaviors, what did they have for me? And I have some really amazing stories that happen that have to do with like just really connecting with my inner child and feeling so much compassion for what I was doing to that part of me.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I would not do that to a child, right? And I got to that place where, okay, it became a decision. It literally came down to, but I had to get ready. And I did. And so I decided no more. And I've been abstinent for, you know, over 30 years.
Good for you.
Or over 30 years. And it's just the most beautiful gift in my life because it set my platform for what I'm going to do. And I went to school, I went back to college, and I learned there that what I want to pursue is fitness, wellness, and I redirected my studies and then started to build that life. And
is it that at that point, like not just you want to do wellness and fitness, but you wanted to help people with this?
Oh, absolutely.
So it wasn't just for you at this time. It was like you knew you wanted to help people.
Yeah. And a person in, I think, man, it had to be like late in high school or something, but I just remember finding Tony Robbins. And as life's gone on, he's always been an inspiration to me, but I learned about his story. And that was effective to me in his abuse and his neglect and what he's done. And there's some relations that I have there that were motivating. And there's been, you know, a few, you know, people along the way, but especially the tribe that I attracted that were my therapists, my counselors, up until especially this last one over the last 15, almost 20 years, that's who I did the most deep dive work in my healing to really, really change the story and the freedom. And I just want people to identify, really realize what they felt, what that what the story is and to begin to change the story.
Would you say that's the first step to getting unstuck, or what do you recommend for somebody out there that's listening that like, oh, I'm stuck and I could identify this?
Mm-hmm. I think to find a place where they feel safe and they begin to dive in. And what I call it is, look in, and it's about, look inside and really, really allow yourself to be honest and truthful with how you really feel, parts of the story that are hard to talk about. And it's that unveiling that is the beginning of the freedom, to feel safe, to be able to talk about it, dance with it, feel all of the things that you want to feel, and then identify, yes, that's not how I want to live. And that is there's so much blessings that come from the hardness of the stories, but they are going to equip us to move forward, right? And then I think it's so important to have a therapist, to have a coach, to have a guide, and to have that safe place. That's just so important. That's key, to be willing to be vulnerable, to talk about the hard stuff that you don't even give name to or a picture to about being stuck. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. What do you think the benefit is of, because a lot of us just talk to a friend. What's the benefit of having a coach or a therapist instead of like a good friend, as somebody we talk to?
Yeah, what I really feel about that is it just takes it to another level of someone that is, it just feels safe. If you know that you are feeling comfortable with that person, you don't have a relationship with them or a history, but you know that they're in a place of holding the space for you, and there's more unconditional acceptance. Less judgment, less worry about having to take care of them because I know them and I'm close to them. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being so vulnerable and just opening up for everybody that's listening. I think that your message is going to help a lot of people today. You're listening to the show Made of More. I'm Chris Erdmann, and today's our special guest is Dawni Rae of Dawni Rae Wellness, and she just got done talking about her early beginnings. And after these messages, she's going to talk about, what else is happening and how else to take care of yourself and whatnot. So tune back in.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Don't ask me to talk.
There's a lot of talk out there. Political talk, sports talk, girl talk, trash talk, and so on. But there's only one, Don't Ask Me to Talk, helmed by conversational off-roaders and podcast pals Eric Ryder and Stacy Heller. They follow every tangent they encounter, from cultural blind spots to their infamous weekly Wheelo topics. Listen wherever you listen to your fave podcasts. Subscribe and share too. Or tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. or Tuesday at 4 p.m. on KKNW.
Tell your friends about Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and I'm sitting here with Dawni Rae of Dawni Rae Wellness. And she just got done talking about her early childhood and her lessons and her path to wellness and her healing, as well as her journey going into college and her beginning steps of healing other people. I've met you a few times, more than a handful of times now, and I've taken some of your workouts in the mornings at some conferences we've both been to. And I just got to say, you've got a way, even just in your regular class, I feel like I'm healing myself. Yeah, because I can feel that care. You have that intention that you're setting out towards your crowd. I know that you believe like weight gain can come from something emotional. Do you want to speak to that a bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm gonna say a little saying that I have about whether I'm with you one-on-one, we're coaching, we're training, you're at a retreat of mine, especially. I'm just so passionate about, for myself first, but also for you, to look backward, to look at the story, to dive inward, to move forward, and then upward and outward. Right?
There's a lot of movement there.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's why movement motivates. And yes, emotional healing. Yes, mental and physical and because it's all integrated, right? And that's the key, is that we separate ourselves and, to these, areas that, I'm going to be here and work here and just do it like this. And then so we kind of start living just from our head up, and if you're not someone that is, already in a relationship with movement or being in your body to some degree. So when I say movement motivates, is like, I'm going to support someone to, okay, if you're struggling and you might talk to me if you're working out with me, and it might be about relationship in your life. It might be your relationship to food, but it's like, there's so many things in the plethora of it all to talk about, so that your life starts to move forward and work better, and you're going to feel better, have more energy, feel more strength, feel safer in the world because of that. So that's all on an emotional healing basis. If you choose to take that look inside, look at like, what's blocking, what's the stories going on, and there's so many things that and it's going to mostly come from the root of your old story, from your childhood through adulthood, wherever you're landing in your age at this, particular time. So what I've noticed in my own experience and with the folks I work with and watch grow and watch dance and wrestle with this whole notion, there's just so much residual, positive residual results. Yeah. And because if you think about it, Chris, there's this roller coaster where people lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. But if we look at it like, we want to make this a lifestyle change. Yeah. So then we got to do it from the inside out. Inside out. And so when the inside starts to feel better, the outside goes, oh, okay, I'm going to let go of this armor I'm carrying, right? Because for some reason, there is a payoff that you have this on. There's a payoff to feeling low energy. There's a payoff to getting sick often. And people are like, no, I'm not responsible for that. Being sick. Well, we really are, if it's this repetitive way or behavior, right, that keeps us from feeling good and feeling
what are some of the reasons
joy.
That people are keeping that weight on or gaining that weight that you've seen?
Fear. Fear on many levels. I've seen everything from, and this isn't anything that we all don't know, but if you have a relationship to being fat, over fat, and it comes from your childhood, that's a road. That's a long, hard road, but really possible, because there's everything's from your DNA, your background, how you've been brought up, what are the eating habits, what's your body type, all those things, right? Okay, so you can be in the world, in your skin, in your body, and maybe you have a bigger structure, but that doesn't mean that you're in danger of health risks unless there's all this emotional turmoil, unless you're carrying extra weight for a reason to feel protected. So I'll see people, whether men or women, that once they start to drop fat and get in better shape, they're not used to living in that, position or right in that body. Yeah. And so that's why the inside work has to happen as well, or along the way or before.
Otherwise, they're going to gain it back.
They're going to gain it back because they're going to feel safe. It's really scary and vulnerable to all of a sudden get attention. Maybe you're not used to that, even though you're lonely, right? Yeah. So that story is so important.
Yeah. So once people get going and they identified, this heart or mind or a combination is what's been getting there, and you've made some real changes. Like, what type of advice and tools do you give these people when the momentum starts to change or the movement starts to change a little bit? Like the season might change for them, and winter's here. I don't feel the same.
Yeah.
Something bad.
That's good.
Something else bad has happened in my life. I don't feel the same.
Yeah, that's good. So, first, as accountability is huge, and to build, like I said, a tribe of people from the people you're closest to, letting those people know how important these goals are, exactly what the goals are, being really transparent so that people go, okay, this is what you want, and what's the best way that I can help support you and stay consistent with that, and checking in whether it's I'm the coach or they have a coach, that they're in constant regimen of personal development. So whether they're reaching out for a therapist or what might work for them, are they investing in some type of gym, no matter what that looks like, or program, right, where they're setting themselves up to be accountable by financially investing in that, and that helps people. But people helping people is one of the best ways. And staying engaged, tracking, from everything that you're eating, how you feel, to your workout that day or not. That's so helpful. The biggest thing is to stay in the light, to just stay in the light, to say, okay, I'm feeling like I'm slipping back. And instead of doing that, come forward, because the right light just unveils everything, meaning like pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Call your accountability. Have that again. And
Be engaged
accountability,
in your community.
being engaged, absolutely.
In your health community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a really good thing that you just said, because anything that we're trying to overcome, if we volunteer ourselves in that place of struggle, it's going to help us stay committed to our path of being well. Right? Like you, it's like my daughter right now who has a rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
Struggling and really trying to.
You would never know she's struggling. She's she's so pleasant to be around.
I know it, right?
Yeah.
And so what is she doing now? She's creating a documentary. They're working on it right now. She's doing her getting out on social media. She's filming a bad day, so that people that are going through that same thing are going to be able to relate, but it also keeps her on her path to feel better. So anything that we are wanting to really have the deep, sincere, authentic change, there's got to be the recipe. There's got to be a regimen. And that I call it framing. And I'll literally do this with people.
Yeah.
And lay you down, and it's a meditation, and we build this frame around you, and you stick in jewels in this frame, and those jewels represent who is your tribe. Who is it that if you get off track, that you're going to bump into that frame, and they're going to help get you back on track. And so that's kind of a short way of saying this, but it's key. It's to be vulnerable and be talking about and reaching out for help. You got to want it.
You have to want it.
You got to want it.
You have to see it.
Yeah. And literally, like, can you get to that place where you allow yourself to see why you're doing it and grab on to wanting to feel contentment and joy, and also quality life, that, okay, now I'm willing to do, and I'm disgusted. I'm at that place, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
What are those non-negotiables for this success?
That's good. The non-negotiables. Well, for me,
we're always negotiating with ourselves.
Yeah. I'm just not going to, it's a non-negotiable for me to overeat. I mean, it's just, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's just, that is not.
So I'm going to know my portions.
Yeah. It's just not, that, you get that feeling of like, I'm good, I'm full, I don't need another bite.
I'm not going to eat any more of 2 fists.
Nope.
No more.
Nope. And you don't have to finish your plate.
Yeah.
You don't have to finish your plate. And you don't have to eat all the food out of the leftovers.
Yeah.
So it's just changing behaviors and the relationship to food in that case. And so that's a non-negotiable for me. And it's very important.
That is important. That's a simple one to identify. Mm-hmm. Probably a hard one to do. Mm-hmm. For some
people. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to have to, that's my new one.
Yeah. Is it? Okay, good.
My new non-negotiable.
And to look how great that is to just become more conscious, to be mindful, which means intention. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, it's good. This is great.
It does. It feels great. It drives my boyfriend crazy because it's just like, what? There's just that little bit left. I'm like, I know, but I'm done.
I know. Okay. I like that. That is a great non-negotiable. Any other non-negotiables?
Mm-hmm. In terms of wellness for me,
yeah,
I'm committed to my personal development.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean, committed to personal development?
That I'm going to stay in touch with my therapist. I'm going to have close people in my life that know me absolutely intimately and know what my struggles are.
So you're going to stay in touch frequently with the close people.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable to isolate.
Okay, isolation.
No isolation.
A lot of us are isolating these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not good for us.
And it's a non-negotiable to not. It's a non-negotiable to not exercise. It's just no. You
have to do something daily.
Yeah, and
I heard
set
15
yourself
minutes
up.
a day if you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I had people jump on today. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this thing came up, but I can jump on for 15 minutes in this virtual class." I'm like, "Yay! That's great."
That's pretty amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
What about food body? How do we help someone separate food body from their worthiness?
That's so good.
Is it
so
setting your goal? Like what, like how do you separate?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's that self-compassion, Chris. And it's like, we are not our bodies. We really aren't. I mean, even when we're gone, the body's left, but our spirit, everything. So it's that again, deep dive of like, who am I? Like what? And I believe in this so much. Mm-hmm. What's my identity? My authentic, who am I? And I think about the work I have done around my legitimacy. My legitimacy isn't in what you think about me. My legitimacy isn't in this body that I live in. My legitimacy is in like my higher power. And I know just that's what I need to exist and to be directed and corrected and feel the compassion and love and grace from. That's really key because food body, is that we could lose ourselves in focusing on that and getting obsessed with that.
Yeah.
But it's truly about how do I know my spirit? How like that place where I talk about inner child that never leaves us. And so for me, for myself, and for people like all these humans, you included, is how can I help inspire you to find the desire to integrate all your pieces, to integrate that. And then literally this body and all of that is it's going to fall into place, and you're going to find more of your own compassion and joy and intention and excitement and motivation to go for it.
I love that answer.
And here's an example just came to me. I'll talk about chiropractic care, okay? And because I love it. I believe in it and so much. Like it literally is one of the things in my regimen at my age now, being in this athletic body forever. It's like, okay, it's aging, right? But it keeps me just so lined up and going, okay? But a lot of people will go like, oh, no, I'd never do that. Oh, I'm so against that, getting cracked, and but they'll go when they get in enough pain.
If there's enough pain.
Right? Yeah. They'll go. And so that's the thing. Can we not have to get to a place where we're miserable and almost at risk, if you will?
Yeah.
Being on your deathbed, and then you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have, right? Literally, and especially men and in your ethnicity, whatever that is, that dictates your longevity.
Yeah.
So if you do all the great things to keep yourself living well, you're going to live long.
Yeah, you will. That's so great. Like, just keep doing these things before you need to do them.
Yeah.
All right. What about, your own spirituality agreement with yourself? How does this play into long-term wellness?
It's good.
I know that you're a spiritual person, and I see that you come off like you're always giving thanks because you're grateful for so much. How does this play in long-term fitness?
Long-term wellness, long-term fitness, all of it. Well, for me, it does, and I believe in it. And so I believe that we all really are going to benefit, and it's really important. It's really a non-negotiable, really, in that there's got to be a power greater than myself. And I'm speaking this like universally, like what entity am I reaching for that's a power greater than me? And for me, it's God. And oh my gosh, like it's the one thing I grabbed onto besides running. And that's that I had a grandma that just instilled the Lord into my heart and the Lord's Prayer. And like, I didn't know about a lot what that meant, but I knew there was something out there called God, and I'm going to grab on because life was real scary, around my bringing up.
Yeah.
And so I would drop to my knees a lot, and it is something that continues to propel me, and I fall back into, and I feel led by.
Yeah.
I really, really feel this generative language that's come upon me when I'm teaching a class or working with one or leading a retreat.
Yeah.
And it all comes from my story, and it comes from divine wisdom and discernment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you've definitely identified your God in your spirituality, and you hold on to that. Mm-hmm. You think everybody needs to do this?
I believe they do. I believe there's so much freedom. We're not alone.
We're not responsible for everything.
Right. Yeah.
We create everything. I agree. It feels a little bit like it feels definitely uplifting, and I am spiritual. I do believe in God, so I understand. And we hear this phrase "inner child" a lot. And how does somebody find this inner child, and who is it?
Come to a Child Wild.
Child Wild,
my retreat. I mean, there's so much I could say about this, but it's literally the core around what my retreats are built from, and it's real. It's important.
Yeah. So some basic steps to finding this before we go to your classes.
Yeah, so there's a book called Child Within, and just think of the notion of like, sit down and start writing your story from the first memory that you can remember as a child. And that part of us is always part of us. It holds a lot of the story. That's the inner child. Get a picture of yourself at any age from, baby to toddler to, maybe elementary even. But it's like, that's there. That part of us is there. It's always there. And it's tender, and it holds a lot of our fear and holds us back, and also can push us forward. So there's a way to get in there and interview both those parts, inner child and our adult self. They want to integrate. They want to hear from each other.
I believe that. Okay, you're listening to the show Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and we're sitting here with Dawni Rae of Dawni Rae Wellness, and she's been shedding light on our inner child and steps to wellness. And next, we're going to get into what is she doing today, and how do we join her on some of this?
My husband Jordan was laid off after 13 years. He started spiraling. We kept a gun in our bedroom. I didn't know if he was going to hurt himself or someone else, so I pressed pause. I filed a firearm restraining order to temporarily remove our gun. It wasn't easy, but we took this life-saving step together.
By temporarily removing a gun, a firearm restraining order gives a person in crisis time to heal. Learn more at illinois.gov/pause to heal. Brought to you by the Illinois Department of Public Health, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hey JD, do you want to have a better life?
Yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yes, we do. How do I go about doing that?
A good place to start would be listening to our new show, Staying Power.
What's it about?
It's about all the ways we can overcome the challenges that we sometimes put in front of ourselves to live a better life.
Where can I find it?
You can listen to it on 1150 AM KKNW every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and Fridays at 9 a.m. or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's do this together every week on Staying Power.
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
All right. Welcome back to the show, Made of More. I'm your host, Chris Erdmann, and today we are sitting with Dawni Rae of Dawni Rae Wellness, and she's been talking about, how to find your inner child, talking about her path of how she started exercising, running, identifying that it was a form of healing, and her journey all in between. Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you come off as a real leader. Where did this start? This leadership voice that you have.
Wow. I can tell you specific people who stood out to me that were really good at delivering, speaking, inspiring. All through my life, I can tell you exactly who they are. And oddly enough, one of them, outside of their unhealthiness, was this person that was my biggest abuser. And but wow, what I saw from him at first, I'm grateful for. What I got from him, that leadership, no kidding. He just happened
to found greatness in this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the biggest things that freed me up after I got to a certain point of my healing journey was all of a sudden I was ready. There's a great story around this specifically, but I'm just going to tell you the outcome. And that's that I truly landed in a place of gratitude for everything that's happened, for all the abuse, for all the neglect, for specific every single person. Like, I was so grateful because it put me on a platform that this is what I want to do in my life. And it really, really is this sincere, feeling and freedom. Leaders, like I said before, there's been many throughout time. I would met this woman, her name's Julie, and I found her like on Aurora at this like iron lifting gym, and I was going to junior college at that time in that area. And I was taken by a girlfriend, and this woman was just Amazon strong, energetic. The room was like shoulder to shoulder, great music. And she was so sculpted by just this movement that she had us doing in resistance. And anyway, and I'd already, have been athletic and running and so forth, but not so much in aerobics, a little bit. And that just changed me. And I'm like, that's where I'm going. Super strong leader. I give so much to her. The training that I went through. Yeah. Strong Janice and Joy Kelly, and they were aerobic fitness competitors, and that was my training that I got for my certification for being a group fitness instructor. Yeah. And I mean, I could go on. I went through in the midst of my journey. Also, I went through a personal development program called Context Training. The leaders in there were like, I just want to do what they're doing. I want to have what they have. And so I just started surrounding myself. There were certain minister folks in my life that I don't, I could name them, but that are strong and that have a hard background. And I just started to, there's people like Joni when I was a kid, that her book. And I don't know if you know, she's a quadriplegic, and she's been in a wheelchair forever, and she's just a force out there. Yeah. And she was really one of the strong people in my life that I just I wanted to be that voice. I wanted to turn my pain into a purpose. And
you did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I want to tell you something about fitness, movement. It's really hard to be in your head when you're really into a workout.
Oh, I know.
It's so. Do you agree?
That's why I like mountain biking, because I'm just like, whatever I'm hurting from emotionally or mentally, I'm gonna hurt equally or as hard, worse, going up that hill.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's freedom. It's more freedom to me than getting a good night's sleep. Yeah. If whatever that is, call it an hour. Whether I'm working out or I'm teaching the workout, there could be the worst scenario going on in my life, and it's shut off, and until I'm all done, right? And then you're back, but I'm better fit for it. I'm more equipped.
Yeah.
Right? And so that it's just so important to move our bodies. Movement motivates.
Movement does motivate. Pain. You said, I just missed it. So I'm going to go into this.
Pain led me to my purpose.
Yeah. Pain to purpose.
Mm-hmm.
How does everybody take this this idea of pain to purpose?
It's hard when to get your head around.
How'd you do it again? Like how was that turning point where you're like, this pain is now my purpose?
Oh, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget. I was sitting out in a garden, and I've been being told to go watch I'm Not Your Guru, which is a Tony Robbins.
I heard it.
Oh, it is so good, Chris. And I was at a point when he began to talk about his story, and I saw the way in which he worked with these folks. I was really familiar with that nature of it, okay? And it's very much how I do it, and not to at all compare myself to him, but there was just so much inspiration from this particular program. And I was all by myself when I'm watching it, but he got to the point where he talked about gratitude, and it was like I drank it in, and I was so ready.
What was it? What about gratitude?
Just being grateful for all the pain that was caused to you in your life, in your story.
That was a turning point.
That was a turning point, and you can't just go, yeah, that's what I want. I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna, we really have to arrive there. Is my opinion. I was ready, and all of a sudden, it's a different feeling than I forgive them.
Yeah,
it's different. It's a letting go. It's this shedding that it was lighter, and I just felt so much freedom. And I truly felt gratitude because now it was lining me up to do what I'm doing in my life. And from that place, it's put people beneath me to just push me, help me grow, help get me there, blessings, doors opening. It's not something that I wanted to be this big person out there I just love lifting people up. Yeah. I love people so much, and I want them to have the best life that they can. And I love watching people dive in and then watching what happens to their hearts, what they say, the tears, the laughter, there's nothing like it.
That's lovely. That's awesome that you have the capacity that's what you want. Not everybody wants that. Why you?
Yeah, I really do feel.
You born that way?
I was.
Yeah.
I was just in all the pain, all the story, right? I was just a happy kid. I had to remind myself of all the things that were going on around, but I just remember feeling happy, feeling this light in me. And then I had work to do once I got older and I was ready and all the things that had happened. But, I feel that same sense of that level of enlightenment.
Yeah.
I feel that in myself.
What a great lesson for all of us. It's whether you're born this way or not, thinking this way, you do benefit from just being grateful for everything, and wanting better for people. If we could all just want better for people, we would probably also receive better, because we're mirroring.
Oh, receiving. Yeah, because what you say?
Oh, good. I don't know. I'm not sure what I said anymore.
Well, yeah, but that's good. That point about receiving it's so important.
Oh, because if we want more for other people, and we want to give more and wish them more and help them, we'll probably be receiving more.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to point something out because I don't want to sound all Pollyanna. I want you to know that I have depressed days. I feel deep sadness sometimes. Sometimes I just need a big cry. And so I'm very, very human in that realm of all the emotions. But now today, what's different is I can identify what's going on. I can say it's okay if I feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, and I've fears that sometimes come out in behaviors that I'm still looking at and wanting to, change those. And that's happening. I'm getting ready to do my own deep dive retreat, just me with a therapist that I've been working with.
for
just
you.
'cause- yeah.
Always working on yourself. You never made it.
No.
You just continues to go.
Yeah. It's right. It's a lifelong job. It is. Yeah,
And
it
that's
really
the
is.
gift. Yeah, that we're given a job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our own.
Yeah.
Wow. So your mom, was she a business owner? Did you learn anything from?
No. My mom has there's a big story there. She was a kid having kids. So
Okay.
I was she was 19 when she had me, and 17 when she had my sister. But no, my mom ended up getting her GED. She has charisma, and she's very smart.
Yeah.
And so she really had great jobs along the way of in her life, and but not ever like her own business, and she wasn't athletic in that way.
Right.
My dad was a different story, and that's where the athleticism comes from, and I'll say that right, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you weren't just building a business and helping people, that you were building more of a movement?
Oh, wow. That's a great way of putting it. Well, the way that I would see people respond when I would be in the fitness room, and the way that I just have this, what I've learned now called generative way of saying things, seeing people, inspiring them, motivating them, and the feedback that I get, and then that it just propelled my desire to lead retreats, which had been a dream. And now I've been doing that for a while now, since 2017. And
You're doing great.
Yeah.
I got two more questions before we end this.
All right.
Number one is like, the show's called Made of More.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does the phrase made of more mean to you in your life, in your practice?
Oh, that's good. Made of more. Well, I feel unique.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I feel really unique, and I feel like I am made of more with this reality. That's such a blessing that I've been given whatever it takes to crawl under the barbed wire and up all through the trenches.
Yeah.
And land in a place of self-love and a desire to just love on people so much.
Yeah, you've turned some of this, what I think felt like anti-love, into love for yourself and love for everybody around you, and it radiates. Last question. How do you want people to find you?
Oh, well, so my phone number,
Sure.
I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm on LinkedIn now that I'm just starting really actually to use. My website is DawniRae.com. Yeah, I think, wait, is that right? Yeah, DawniRae.com. And that's not my wheelhouse, but I'm building all this up. Yeah, so, the best way really is, by my phone number, or all my information's on my website, or I'm public on social media, and yeah.
All right. So you'll find Dawni Rae on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find her on her website. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll be able to find her right there. All right.
I appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to the show and taking time today. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Made of More on KKNW. Whether you're on the road, at the office, or listening from home, keep chasing what lights you up, keep building what matters, and never settle for less than the life you were made for. You are made of more. More purpose, more impact, more joy. Made of More is part of the Speaking Current network of shows and podcasts, all of which that are dedicated to inspiring listeners to build lives of meaning, connection, and value. You can find the Speaking Current network of shows, including Made of More, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Until next Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KKNW, I'm Chris Erdmann. Stay bold, stay inspired, and stay made of more.